You think si insulin, saka si glucagon, meron? Hirap, no? Kasi si glycolysis kasi hindi mo alam kung ano ba yan. Anabolic ba to o catabolic ba to? Pero we will see later na merong effect si insulin in one of the examples. No, mali-discover natin. How about so insulin? So yun na yung regulation natin. So insulin. Ano pa? Ma-appreciate nyo din. So isipin natin sa control and regulation, may mga steps na highly regulated. Example, they are usually the rate limiting enzyme. Diba? So, sa example, remember, sa beta oxidation, sino ang rate limiting enzyme? Si hormone sensitive ligase. Diba? Tama. Ano yung opposite? Fatty acid synthesis, sino ang yung multi-enzyme? Sino makakala? Fatty acid synthase. Synthase, di ba? Siya yung multi-unit sa enzyme. Yun, sa glycolysis, usually, pag pinag-usapan natin about regulation, siya yung rate limiting step. Tapos makikita natin mamaya that the rate limiting enzyme is affected by insulin. Ayan, napanggit na ata nila, si PFA. Tapos, ang isa pa, maliban sa regulation, we're speaking about regulation, tama yung parang analysis nito na kung mataas yung initial, kung mababa yung final product, no? Tama naman yun. Kasi generally, di ba, alam natin yung for reactions to proceed, anong tawag yun? A plus B equals C plus B. Di ba, kapag ka-increase mga reactants, magpupush yung reaction forward. Pag in-increase mo yung products, may inhibit yung pabalik yung kasi. So, tama yung gano'ng analysis. Tapos, mapapansin din natin, meron din mga reactions na maliban doon, yung mga, doctors, yung mga, sabi di ba negative feedback, meron ding feed forward na mga for regulation. No? So, meron din yata dito sa glycolysis. Ay, wala. Sa gluconeogenesis yata yung feed forward. Okay? So, feed for hormones, feed forward sa negative feedback, concentrations of your final and initial reactants or products. So, yun nakakapit. May isa pa So, maliban doon. Siyempre, yung mga intermediates mismo. Ayun, isa pa. Yung may mga intermediates ka kasi sa glycolysis na, example ito, si acetyl-CoA, hindi ko na tanong ko, sinong reactant or parang compound na nasa glycolysis na important precursor sa fatty acid synthesis? Si glycerol 3-phosphate. Dito yun, kasi makikita nyo, mamaya, si glucose magiging 3-carbon Isa doon si glycerol 3-phosphate. Tapos di ba ito yung precursor natin saan? Sa mga fatty acids, di ba? Siya dito. So, papansin nyo, kapag yung sinasabi natin na may mga intermediates can control a particular pathway, ito yung example natin. So, ganun din. So, hindi lang final product hindi tingnan. Yung mga intermediates also follows this regulation or control. Na kapag marami ng G3P, tendency, mali-inhibit yung glycolysis forward in general. Okay, tapos, pag marami rin substrates, pag excess na yung, example, excess na yung fatty acid mo, no need for magtutuloy-tuloy siya towards your final. Okay? So, yun. Pag sinabing control and regulation. Okay, so role, control and regulation, and reaction. So, ito. Sabi natin kanina, specialized yung mga reactions natin. Like, saan si gluconeogenesis? Sa organ? Liver. Saan pa? Okay, good. Sa kidney. Okay? So, they are, but all cells can carry out glycolysis. Ano ba? Ito, sabi natin, no? Red blood cells. Nabanggit na natin yan, di ba? Glycolysis is the only energy-yielding pathway available. Through what? Through what reaction? Ano yung tawag natin? Producing ATP. Substrate level. So kapag sinabi ng the only energy yielding pathway for RBC, ang isipin agad, substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, hindi na papasok yung mga reducing agent sa mitochondria. Kasi walang mitochondria, si RBC. Okay, and we know that glucose is a major saccharide that enters glycolysis, no? But then others such as black galactose and fructose can also be used. Kasi di ba lahat na, what's the difference between glucose and fructose? Ay, lahat to ilang carbons? 6 lahat sila, di ba? Pati si galactose yun, no? Glucose and fructose, merong reaction sa glycolysis, isomerase ang tawag ko. So, iba lang yung functional group. Kung tama yung alala ko, aldehyde yung isang ketone. Hindi ko alam kung sa kanila. Pero usually yun yung sa sugar. Naalala yung structure ng sugar. Yung sa dulo, yung carbon 6 usually. Ketone, C-double-bond-O-R, tsaka C-double-bond-O-H. Pag aldehyde. Tama ba? So yun. So they can enter glycolysis. The first step in glucose is the transport and the phosphorylation. Na-discuss mo yung mga GLUT 1, GLUT 2 sa metabolism. Ay, kay Dr.
Hindi.
Nabanggit niya.
Hindi.
GLUT 4. At least familiar kayo. So, si glucose transporters. Important kasi ng mga natin. So, pagpasok, okay. At tignan nyo yung statement of first. The first step in glucose is transport across the membrane. So from the bloodstream, isipin natin from extracellular glucose, papasok siya sa intracellular. Diba? Tapos, and phosphorylation to prevent it from leaving by transport. So, anong type, we have the glucose transporter. Anong type ng protein to? Peripheral or ano? Integral. Naalala pa nito. Very good. So, ulit pa rin na
Integral.
So, yan. So, glucose transporters. So, para sabi sa statement, kung ito yung extracellular, ito yung intracellular. So, important sa glycolysis, i-discuss din natin, is the transport from extracellular to intracellular through your GLUT. Tapos, phosphorylation. Anong enzyme? Anong type ng enzyme na nag-phosphorylate? Kinase. So, kinase enzymes inside the cell to prevent it from leaving the transport. Okay. So ito, digestion, alam niyo na ito. So, ayun. So from our discussion, your discussion with Dr. Wayne, ang carbohydrates, complex. Kaya kailangan ng digestion. Naalala nyo, ang monomeric unit ng carbohydrates is essentially glucose. Diba? So, kaya so meron kayong mga enzyme which converts your complex sugar essentially to your glucose. No? Yun yung importance ng digestion. Kasi alam natin, yung starch, diba? At may mga disaccharides din kayo. No? So, ito yung mga disaccharides nyo. Si maltase, isomaltase, lactase. So, mababasa niyo na rin sa, no? Sa digestion natin. So, there are 4 major glucose transports. Ito na lang bayan. Para maalala. So, si GLUT1, GLUT2, GLUT3, and GLUT4. Tandaan natin, naalala niyo pa si KM, siya na si P. Kaya ba? Naalala pa? Medyo recent lang naman. Very good. So, si KM, ano ulit ang definition ng KM? Isa-isa lang. Sige. Hindi na masawin. It is the
50% of the maximal velocity.
50% of what? May mali doon. Tama ba? It is the velocity at which 50% is of the substrate. Hindi si velocity ang naging 50%. It is the velocity. It is, Tm is the velocity. Vmax is the velocity na maximum siya working. But Km is the velocity at which 50% of the substrate. Or parang hindi. Wala na ako. Km is hindi. Velocity at which 50% it is the substrate concentration at which the enzyme works at 50% of its velocity. So tama pala. Sorry. So tama. Sorry, may nagkaman. So Bm maximum velocity. Km is the velocity of the reaction. Velocity of the reaction at which is the substrate concentration. Concentration to lang. Okay, quantity. Substrate concentration. Yun yung difference niya. Si Vmax describes your velocity. Okay? Km meanwhile is the substrate concentration at which the reaction is 1/2 of Vmax. Tandaan nyo na, doon ko na-pick up. Hindi, doon ko na-recall. Yun yung tinatawag natin na long term. Hindi nyo siya i-memorize at least. Ang tandaan nyo na isa sa kanila, hindi velocity ang definition. Okay, so doon pa naalala. Velocity yung Vmax, kasi V, velocity max. But the Km is the concentration of the substrate. Naalala nyo yung curve? Diba? Vmax versus, diba? Substrate. Concentration of substrate. Tapos ito ay velocity. Tama? So, ang Km is the substrate concentration at which Vmax is 1/2. Okay? Ayun. So parang, sana ganun din nyo maalala yung concept ng Vmax. Kaya ang nangyayari, si Km, now going back to view, si Km, siya yung nagde-describe ng affinity. Km describes affinity of your enzyme to the substrate. Bakit kaya? Paano nyo i-relate yung substrate concentration sa affinity of the enzyme to the substrate? Tingnan nyo, Km. Km of the GLUT1 for glucose. Km of the GLUT2 for glucose. Yun, doon muna tayo. Bakit ganito yung Km, glucose? Bakit paano i-relate substrate concentration sa affinity? Try,
Look, the higher the Km, the lower the affinity.
Okay, yun yung rule. Tama? So, tama si Doc. The higher the Km, the lower the affinity. The lower the Km, the higher the affinity. So, paano nyo i-relate yan sa substrate concentration? Kasi, okay, sige daw.
Kapag nakita niyo po sa reaction na mas mataas yung substrate concentration, ano po, mababa po yung ibig sabihin, Dok, hindi po makabind yung substrate sa enzyme. So, mataas po yung KM.
Okay, sige. So, ang sabi ni Doc, kapag ka mataas ang KM, pag mataas ang substrate concentration, hindi nagbabind sa enzyme. So, mataas, Tagalog yan. Mataas ang concentration ng substrate, ibig sabihin, cannot bind. Tama? Yun yung sabi yung statement dito. Okay? Sige. Tapos, follows na kapag mababa yung concentration, ibig sabihin, nakabind siya. Mababa, concentration ng substrate, ibig sabihin, bound to the edge. Okay. Sino pa may ibang pwedeng explanation? Taas ang KM, substrate concentration, mababa yung pwede actually to. Pwede siya. Pero may iba pang way para ito, ako naman sabi. Tama si Doc na mataas ang substrate. Diba? Remember sa curve natin na substrate tsaka Vmax, if you need a higher substrate concentration to reach the Vmax, ibig sabihin, low affinity. So yan nga. Na-follow yun? Kapag konti naman yung substrate concentration to reach the maximal velocity, mataas na. Okay. So tama si Doc na magsimula tayo. Tama siya kasi Tm is substrate concentration. So isipin niyo kung yung curve, kasi i-relate natin yun sa function mamaya eh. Bakit GLUT4 yung nasa pancreas? Bakit GLUT1 yung nasa overall karamihan? I-relate natin. Kasi yung GLUT, one of the property of your enzymes is your affinity. Okay, very important pa. Kaya dapat matandaan nyo. So then remember, concentration ng substrate and D. Tapos ganito yung curve natin, di ba?
Against the light.
Tama? Your mechanism natin. Tama? So, ito yung, for example, ito si, ito na, para malaki. Between these two enzymes, between this and this enzyme. Between these two, which has a higher Km? Ito, di ba? So, this is Km. This is another Km. Diba? So, pansinin nyo, for those with higher concentration of substrate, no, you would, for a certain enzyme, Km for enzyme, gawin na natin GLUT para maano nila. Between GLUT, sino ba yung malayo? Si GLUT1, saka si GLUT2. Yan na lang. So, sabi dito, si Km ng GLUT2 mataas. So, sabi natin ito yung Km ng GLUT2. Nakikita sa likod?
Hindi po.
Kaya pa? Nakikita yun. So, ito, Km si GLUT1. So, ang kita tayo doon, sa curve na to, GLUT2 has higher Km as compared to your GLUT1. Kasi remember, Km is the substrate concentration at which your velocity is 1 half of Vmax. Okay, so yun, understood yun. So, GLUT1. So, parang yung sa tanong natin, yung sinagot nito, which enzyme, GLUT1 or GLUT2, which has a lower affinity for glucose? GLUT2. GLUT2 has lower affinity. Whereas your GLUT1 has higher affinity. So what I'm trying to say with this graph, ibig sabihin, you need more of the glucose to reach the half velocity. Okay? You need more of your substrate para mapabilis. Given na similar yung yung conditions between GLUT1 and GLUT2, you need more glucose para mag-proceed yung 1/2 of the velocity. As compared to your GLUT1, ibig sabihin, konting glucose lang, halos Vmax na siya. And how, ano kasi dyan, ang maalala natin, kapag okay yung affinity sa enzyme sa substrate, nagtutuloy yung reaction. So, pag mas maganda yung affinity ng dalawa, ibig sabihin, interaction of the enzyme and the substrate, mas madaling ma-reach yung Vmax or 1/2 Vmax. So, imagine niyo, kailangan ng mas maraming glucose ng GLUT2 para mag-interact siya sa enzyme. So, what does it tell? Mababa yung affinity niya. As compared to your GLUT1, which needs mas mababang glucose daw para mag-interact sila. So, higher affinity for it to reach the Vmax or 1/2 your Vmax. Napalo yun? So, ano yung implication niya? So, sa table na to, makikita natin, your normal blood glucose concentration is 4 to 6 millimolar. That's 72. Alam niyo na yan, ginawa niyo na yung assignment niyo. So, makikita natin, ang function ng GLUT1, since they are present in most tissues, especially those that needs it most, is your GLUT1. And it's good for basal uptake of glucose. As compared, i-compare natin sa GLUT2, which is ang important dito si pancreatic cells. Pwede rin liver for gluconeogenesis. Pero 15 millimolar ang Km niya. So, ibig sabihin, high Km, lower affinity. No? So, sino ang between GLUT1 and GLUT2, na-establish na natin na GLUT1 has higher affinity. So, ibig sabihin, no? Ang mangyayari, kailan, during fasting. During fasting. Ibig sabihin, mababa si glucose. Okay, mag-fasting tsaka fasting tayo. Para makikita. Fasting. Tsaka fasting. Sa fed state, sino yung nag-work na glucose transport? Sabihin. GLUT2. Okay, good. Okay, GLUT2 ang nag-work. Iyan natin, isa-isay natin. Ibig sabihin ba na si GLUT1 sa fasting state? Sino yung, ang tanong ko na lang, listen natin. Tama tayo, di ba? 15 millimolar, high Km. During fed state, sino yung mga kailangan ng glucose? Sino yung, fasting na muna. During fasting state, hirap naman i-organize mo muna para maano yung mga. Sabay-sabay natin aralin. Yung function kasi, bakit kailangan natin aralin?
Dokog na.
Okay. So during fasting, kailangan ng cells nyo ng more sugar kasi mababa na. Di ba? Pero sino yung nagsisignal na mababa na yung sugar sa katawan? Sino yung nakakadetect? Sino organ? Pancreas. So si pancreas, di tayo lahat doon. Bakit si pancreas yung nakakadetect? Siya yung nag-release ng insulin. At saka, glucagon.
Glucagon.
So, pag siya yung nakaka-detect ng low sugar, kung siya yung nakaka-detect ng low sugar, ano sa tingin yung transporter ang kailangan niya para ma-detect na mababa yung sugar sa katawan? Anong type ng glucose transporter? Bluetooth. Ay, kasi nandito. Or nalabakit. Sige, alam mo. Sige, so si pancreas, kailangan daw ng Bluetooth para ma-detect na mababa yung sugar. Okay. As compared to your brain. Si brain, ano yan, reactive lang yan sa sugar sa katawan, no? So, anong transporter ang kailangan niya para constantly, kahit mababa yung sugar, makakuha siya ng glucose? Glucose.
Yes, mas tissues.
Glucose. So, ang sabi natin sa pancreas, sugar can detect. Ang brain, low sugar, can absorb. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, sino ngayon ang kailangan na high affinity sa sugar?
Glutuan.
Glutuan. So, ito, which is, ito. High affinity, low Km. Nag-gets ko yun? Nag-gets yung ano? So, si glutuan, kailangan kahit mababa ang sugar sa katawan, kailangan niya makakuha ng glucose. So, kailangan niya glutuan, high affinity for sugar. High affinity for sugar means low Km. And that explains why basal uptake of glucose needs one pure glutuan.
Glutuan.
No?
Okay.
As compared to your pancreatic cells, for example, no? Kailangan niya, kahit mababa yung sugar, kailangan niyang ma-detect yun. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, ang kailangan niya na transporter is yung opposite, high Km or low affinity. Kaya, explain natin na. So, understood to, glutuan, kailangan siya sa basal kasi kailangan take ng take, no? Kailangan niya high affinity para masustain yung basal metabolic function. So, bakit ganito? Bakit glucose sensor siya? Ay, sige, thank you. Sige. Nahirapan no?
Kaya siya, Dok, na kailangan ko high Km siya para low affinity. Kasi, Dok, kung mataas po yung affinity niya, Dok, hindi niya masasense na mababa na pala yung sugar. So, kailangan, Dok, low affinity siya para malaman niya, para malaman kung ang sugar. Since low affinity na siya, sana yung sabihin niya mababa na yung sugar. Kasi, Dok, kapag glutuan na siya, kahit mababa na yung sugar, since mataas ang feeling niya, mayroon pa yung sugar, okay pa.
Okay, nag-gets yun? Okay, very good. So, ulitin natin. Galing, isa pa, siya.
Parang mas madaling intindihin ng priority ko. Kasi kapag, halimbawa sa nagpapastin po tayo, low yung sugar natin.
Okay.
So, dapat mas matibay kung sino yung priority na cells. Like, example, si brain and red cells. Sila yung priority, kaya kailangan mas affinity, mas mataas yung affinity. Tapos kapag fed state naman, kailangan mataas yung sugar. So that's the time naman na mag-take over si liver and pancreas para homeostasis po. Para ibaba. Parang ganun po. Kumbaga,
Pwede din.
priority.
Okay, so pwede. So, magkaiba yung concept ng dalawa, pero pwede sila pareho. Yung, yung kay Doc, Adriel, Simpson, kay Doc is parang fed state. Generally, fed state tsaka fasting. Pareho naman sila, fed state tsaka fasting. I-table natin. Yung kay Julie kasi, ganito. Sabi niya, ang mag-detect na mababa ang sugar, mas magandang mag-detect ng mababang sugar, yung low affinity. Bakit? Kasi pag low affinity, ibig sabihin, parang napaka-sensitive niya in the sense na kaya niya kasi mataas na sugar eh. So, siya yung mag-detect ng mababa kasi wala na siyang ma-detect na sugar. Kaya yun yung sa pancreas. Nag-get yun? Yun yung isang concept, which is tama din naman. At the same time, si GLUT1, kaya siya nandito sa mga, kaya sa basal uptake. Kumbaga, ninenegate natin yung first statement. Ganun yung kay John B. Ninenegate natin na kasi in a sense, si GLUT1, hindi siya pang-detect, pang-absorb lang siya. No? Tapos yung kay, Adriel, sa kanya, during fasting, tsaka fed state, yun naman yung approach niya. Kung kay Junri, sino ba yung mas makaka-detect ng mababang sugar? Hindi yung low affinity, yung high KM. Kasi syempre, ang baba-baba, siya talaga yung huling magre-react sa unang magre-react actually sa hypoglycemia. Yung kay Doc Simpson, ang sa kanya, fed state and fasting state. During fasting state, ang may kailangan si brain. So, kailangan mo ng high affinity para makuha niya lahat ng sugar. As compared to your pancreas na GLUT2, no? During fed state, marami namang sugar. So, siya yung okay. So, okay siya, functioning siya to store the sugar. Tama ba yung interpretation ka sa niya?
Yes.
Okay. So, yun. So, thank you. So, na-appreciate niya to. Kaya, imagine ko, kaya kailangan yung AM in-house, pabalik-balik siya. Kasi, hindi naman most, pero yung mga instances like this, nakabase sa AM in-house, yung function. Okay? Which goes back to your, ito na-explain naman ba? Okay, sa inyo na yan. Yung class natin, yun na yan. Okay? So yan, yung glucose, GLUT1, GLUT2, yun. Although basal transport is increasing, muscle stores excess glucose. So alam na natin to. So, ang sinasabi dito, hindi lang transport, but yung, ito dapat to sa function na to. Na-remember nyo si muscle stores excess glucose as glycogen, no? And adipose tissue requires glucose or DHAB, which is converted to visceral phosphate in an event to your fatty acids and your triglycerides. Okay, so na-reshape na ito. Again, GLUT1, most tissues, no? Low Km means high affinity, so kailangan niya ng glucose. GLUT2 in your sensors of hypoglycemia, no? Or hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. So they have low affinity para ma-detect nila yung changes. So then your uptake and release of glucose by that, and your GLUT3 based on and finally your GLUT4, ganun din. Insulin stimulated glucose uptake, no? And stimulated by this. Okay? Balik tayo sa glycolysis. So, naalala rin itong figure na to, parang drawing natin. Kasi ito talaga yung overview, no? So, tapos na tayo sa fatty acids. Kasi remember, ang purpose ng kain for ATP. No? Para ma-sustain yung energy ng katawan. So yan, fatty acid, acetyl-CoA. So tapos na tayo dito. Ito yung I don't worry. Pero this is just one aspect, ha. Metabolic fuels lang produce ATP. Pero syempre, marami pang uses ang fatty acids, marami pang uses. Pero basically, sa metabolic fuels sila. Itong slide na to. Kasi example, yung amino acids nyo, hindi lang yan nagpo-form ng pyruvate or acetyl-CoA. Ginagamit siya as building block for proteins, no? Nitrogen metabolism, which is next week na discussion nyo. Tapos, precursor din siya sa mga specialized products ng katawan. Like your porphyrins, no? Galing yan sa glycine, for example. Okay? So, ito na. So, nandito tayo. Carbohydrate to glucose, glucose to pyruvate, this is your glycolysis. And your pyruvate to acetyl-CoA is what enzyme again? Pyruvate to acetyl-CoA. Ito magandang figure to. Ay, mali.
Super.
Ay, sige, mali mo. Okay. So, ganito na lang pag-discuss natin.
Wow. Linaw.
Sige, naka-park enzyme naman yata. Nakanan naman yung slide. So, ito essentially yung glucose. Ay, glycolysis. So, from your glucose, alam mo lang sa likod.
Yes, Doc. Yan, perfect.
So, from your glucose, transport to your what? Transporter. Papasok siya ng intracellular. The first step is glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. And ano yung, di ba sabi natin, reaction important, tsaka bakit siya important? Bakit sa tingin nyo important na mag-glucose 6-phosphate yung glucose? Sabi natin kanina. Para hindi mag-leak si yung glucose palabas ng transport. Okay? So it is mediated by your hexokinase and your glucokinase. No? From the term, phosphorylation, so kinase. And where does your phosphate group comes from? From your ATP. Okay? So that is step 1. No? So, ayan. So ito yung mga ano ng glycolysis, no? So ibig sabihin, parang overview. Converts to pyruvate and release a modest amount of energy in substrate level phosphorylation, and one oxidation. If a cell has a mitochondria, glycolysis is aerobic. Why? If your cell has mitochondria, glycolysis is considered aerobic. Why? Oxidative phosphorylation. Right? Meaning oxygen is utilized in your electron transport chain. Okay? Anyways, yeah. Tapos, if either mitochondria is lacking, glycolysis may occur anaerobically, no? Although some of the available energies. So, glycolysis also provides intermediates from other pathways. How? Through your fatty acid synthesis, through your G3 hub. Naalala nyo sa fatty acid. So, step 1 is hexokinase. So, alam na natin, pinakita natin kanina, glucose enters the cell and is trapped using ATP. Okay, ayan, Km and Vmax ulit. Sige, ano? Ayan. So, same lang. Hexokinase is found, hexokinase is found in all tissues. Almost all tissues. Whereas your glucokinase is only in your hepatocyte. So, sino sa tingin nyo yung sensor? Is it the glucokinase or the hexokinase?
Glucokinase.
If it is the sensor, does it have high affinity or low affinity? Low affinity. If it has low affinity, is that it doesn't have high Km or low Km?
High KM.
Ayan, very good. High Km, low affinity, industrialized. So, same concept. Okay?
pala yun.
So, meron lang glucokinase. Okay, how about the next step?
Ay.
So, may makikita kayo sa mga yung parang mga mnemonics or the steps. Ako, ang advice ko, gawa kayo ng sariling mnemonic for the Pero, don't get lost dun sa details na itong compound magiging ganito. Okay? Mas mag-concentrate kayo dun sa bakit yun. Why is that step needed? Which goes to our next. Glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. Naalala niyo to? So, interconvertible sila. So, yes. So, pwede. So, from your fructose diet, kailangan mo lang mag-produce ng fructose 6-phosphate din. Papasok mo ng glucose. So, that is parang extra carbohydrate metabolism. Okay? So, glucose 6-phosphate to fructose. Remember, isomerase. Na-discuss natin kanina. Tapos, from your fructose 6-phosphate, pwede kang dalawang enzymes. So, glucose 6, isomerizing. I think si fructose ang ketone. Kasi anyways, so, si glucose 6, parang nag-transfer lang yung oxygen double bond niya. Nag-transfer lang yung oxygen. Kaya isomer. No? Similar structure, iba lang yung pagkaka-arrange ng mga atoms doon sa compound. So, isomerase. The next important step from our slide is your phosphofructokinase 1 and 2. From the term phosphofructokinase, anong ginagawa niya?
Phosphorylation.
Fructose. Sabihin, meron na siyang phosphoryl group, dadagdagan pa ng isa. Kaya ang product is fructose
1,6-phosphate.
So that's PFK1, no? And makes use of what? Phosphate group. Anong source ng phosphate? ATP. Kasi mamaya, may reaction dito, phosphate group without ATP. Kaya hindi generally all phosphate comes from ATP. So yan. Pero, meron kang PFK2. Anong ginagawa niya? Imbes na sa 1,6, no? Sa 2,6 niya nilalagay si phosphate group. Okay, so yun ang difference, no? Phosphorylkinase 1. Tapos, sabi natin kanina, insulin affects glycolysis. So, eto na yun. So, insulin can activate your PFK2. Wala siyang action sa PFK1. Indirect. Pansin nyo? PFK2 ay insulin has indirect effect on your PFK1. Bakit? Kasi ang action niya sa PFK2. Pero ang product niya is fructose 2,6-bisphosphate. Ito yung nagsistimulate sa PFK1. Hindi nyo lang dinirection insulin sa PFK1. Kinailangan pa niya si PFK2. Kasi, ewan ko, kaya creation na fructose 2,6-bisphosphate ang nag-activate sa PFK2. So, indirect ang effect natin. Okay, so, pwede natin i-generalize na insulin is for storage, di ba? Diba? So, kasi remember, anything excess ng glucose na conform sa fatty acids sa your body. So, in effect, in a sense, okay pa rin naman na glycolysis is affected by your insulin. Hindi naman, ang isipin nyo, hindi naman parating nandyan si insulin. So, glycolysis can happen even without your insulin. Tandaan nyo yan kasi baka mamaya sabihin nyo, ay, laging may glycolysis kasi hindi. Laging nangyayari ang glycolysis, pero nasi-stimulate pa siya kapag may insulin. So, pwedeng si glycolysis, pwedeng anabolic, pwedeng catabolic pa rin siya. It happens both whether you are fed, fasting, or overeating. Okay? Fructose 6,1,6 bisphosphate. Well, hindi natin kami important. Oh, rate limiting enzyme. PFA. Okay, so ito. The rate limiting enzyme inhibited by ayan, ang ATP and C3 is activated by AMP. Insulin stimulates and glucagon inhibits, especially in your hepatocyte. Okay? Glutathione. Next. Next is your glycerate 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Pansin niyo yung mga enzyme na discuss natin, sila yung kailangan ng ATP, sila yung rate limiting. Example, si isomerase. Ano bang mapipick up natin? Siyempre maganda kasi nasa-change to fructose, ito yung fructose yung magpapatinili. Pero, kumbaga, tingnan nyo, isa pa, reversible siya as compared to this and this. Pansin yung irreversible. Ito rin, your G3P dehydrogenase. Ito pala, reversible pero nagpo-produce ng NAD. Okay? Si aldolase, hindi na rin natin discuss kasi ano mang ginagawa ni aldolase? From the term, aldolase cleans your aldose sugar. Kaya, from your 6-carbon, naging 3-carbon G3P siya, tsaka dihydroxyacetone. Hindi natin kinetic doctor siya, yung enzyme. Sinasabi lang natin na mas kailangan mas maalala natin yung mga dinidiscuss. Okay? So, aldolase, pag tinanong kayo, it gives your 6-carbon fructose to your D-hop and your G3. Okay? Tapos tingnan nyo, isomerase na naman, no? Kasi diba, halos magkamukha lang si dihydroxyacetone. Okay, next is, glycolysis para natin. Hindi, at least, kumbaga, discussion ng mali. Okay, so from your, so yan, no, G3P dehydrogenase, no? Produces, if it's truly half, your glycerol phosphate and your triglyceride synthesis. Whereas if it continues, no, your G3P dehydrogenase, when it can produce your NADH. Remember yung mga dehydrogenases, no? Mga oxidation, reduction reactions, di ba? Pag dehydrogenases. Sila yung nagka-transfer ng mga H group from one compound to the next. No? So, ito, ang nag-accept ng electron nyo, si NAD, yung parang na-discuss natin before, to your NADH. And NADH can go to your mitochondria for your electron transfer chain, if it is aerobic electrolysis. Okay, so, dito na tayo tutuloy. So, from your G3P, so, ito na. G3P, nagkaroon ka, ito sabi ko, not all phosphate groups are coming from your ATP. Some are floating in your cells as inorganic phosphate. Kaya EI. Inorganic. Okay? Okay. So, ayan, kaya ka, di ba remember yung isang phosphate nasa D-hop, yung isang phosphate nasa G3P, kasi di ba from fructose to bisphosphate, and then naglagay ka pala ng isang phosphate group, so you have your 1,3-bisphosphonases. Okay? Tapos, nag-kinase ka pa. Ay, kinase meaning, i-transfer niya sa ATP yung isang phosphate. And that's with the use of your phosphoglycerate. Sino si 2,3-DPG? Si Kabit?
Si Kabit.
Na kapag may kabit, nagiging less yung affinity sa asawa.
Oh.
Okay? So, sa RBC yan. So, remember, parang part ng glycolysis intermediates C to ATP sa RBC. So, napaka-important din ng glycolysis sa RBCs natin. can provide the energy and also regulate your affinity of your RBC to your oxygen. Okay? So 3 to your 2 phosphoglycerate, to your metase, and then your enolase, enolase meaning removal of water group, phosphoenol pyruvate, and they are all reversible reactions. And finally, from your phosphoenol pyruvate to your pyruvate, kind. Ayan ang ADP. Ang kakaiba sa kinase, pwedeng si ADP yung ipophosphorylate na, pwedeng yung another compound. Pero sana, kung ako yan, pyruvate phosphatase. Diba? Hindi, phosphoenolpyruvate phosphatase. Kasi yung pyruvate, kinase, so parang yung product. Anyway, so ganun. So pyruvate kinase. So pyruvate, again, if it is plus O2 and if it's no O2. So if it's plus O2, it means pyruvate can go to your mitochondria and do your pyruvate dehydrogenase, no? Convert it to acetyl-CoA. And your acetyl-CoA can either go to your TCA, pagkalipalit na rin, your Krebs, and then finally your ATP, or it can go to your fatty acids. Okay? That's with O2. And without O2, in your cytoplasm, so anong cell, anong organ? Pag cytoplasm, walang so RBC. It can go, kasi pyruvate being converted to your lactate dehydrogenase can occur in cells in your muscles kapag ka-lack of O2, or it can happen in your red blood cells. Okay? So without your pyruvate, no? Pansin niyo, hindi na pumapasok yung mga NADH sa mitochondria. Gumagamit mo siya ng NADH. Buti na lang, may isang step na nagpo-produce ng NADH. So may gamit pa rin. Hindi lang ito napupunta sa electron transport chain. Ginagamit siya to convert your pyruvate to lactate. So yun yung gamit niya. Okay? Tapos, yun yung gamit ng RDP. Okay? And then your lactate, no? Somehow, wala talaga siyang gamit, pero unfortunately, yun yung pinupuntahan ng excess pyruvate pag lacks oxygen. Example, when you exercise, diba? Kulang na yung oxygen, pero glycolysis ka ng glycolysis. So may pyruvate ka. Nagiging lactate yung excess pyruvate. And yun yung lactic acidosis. Yun yung mga muscle cramps, no? Kapag na okay, low oxygen. Okay, so basically yun yung glycolysis. So technically, ano yung role niya, no? Okay, so meron na kayong stage define. Ano yung mga enzymes? Basically, talagang i-split lang natin si glucose. And then glucose, i-convert it to a compound that will enter your disease. Okay? So ano pa yung try na, bibigay ko naman ang try. So, pyruvate kinase, so sa baba. Lactate dehydrogenase, your important intermediates are your EHAP and your EPY. EHAP is the one used for triglyceride synthesis, whereas your 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, no? 2,3-bis and phosphoenol pyruvate. Ayun, sino pala yung substrate level? Phosphorylation. Sino? Etong dalawa. Si bisphosphoglycerate, i-transfer niyo yung phosphate group sa ATP. So that is your phosphoglycerate kinase, and your second is your pyruvate kinase. So sila yung dalawa. Ayan. So what are the intermediates that transfer their phosphate group to ATP? Ang sagot, si 1,2-bisphosphoglycerate, tsaka si phosphoenol pyruvate. Actually, ang sabi, very unstable yung dalawang compound. They have nowhere to go but to release the oxygen. Okay? Kaya, nowhere to go. Dalawa, hindi, ayun, good. Mag-compute tayo. Sige. Ilang ATP ang nakukuha sa isang glucose? Hindi, until glycolysis. Ilang ATP ang nakukuha sa isang glycolysis? Isang gram na glycolysis. Dalawa? Sige. Okay, yung isa dalawa. Gusto nyo i-compute sa end nyo? Kasi tatanong talaga yun. Tapos iyan natin together. Kasi meron sa glycolysis, merong investment phase. Merong kumikita na phase. Okay? So ang investment mo, yung first 2 steps. Okay, so C, bakit si glucose is phosphate, saka si bisphosphate. So dalawang ATP. Pero, makikita natin na per glucose, di ba na-split into 2? Di ba? Pero pwede na yung dalawang G3P mag-undergo, mag-produce ng substrate.